Okay, great. Uh, it's Spoken World Online, Tuesday, May 14, 2024, week number 217. And I am so thrilled to be part of this program. It means a great deal to me. So thanks, David, and thanks everybody for participating. Thank you, Finn. Beautiful set. I'm going to be reading again this week from the Roarshock page, and I put a link to the text in the chat. The Bedlam Boys on the Beach. Attention, please. Attention, please, fellows. A voice called out, and the men arranged themselves in a loose circle. Spectek was at Anton's left, and Wheels was at his right. Rolf was directly opposite Anton in the circle. The man who had called for attention stepped into the center. He looked suspiciously mainstream and normal among the wild company assembled there. Greetings, everyone, he said. I'm glad to see you all here. I'm Gilbert Burrows. Most of you know that. And I'm the organizer of the gathering this year. To get around the group camp attendance limits and to protect our new heathen identity, half of you have been registered under the auspices of the Neil Wiggins Society, an extremely wealthy, alas, fictional anthropologist. The rest of you are lucky charter members of that club, that cult to every man's man, the Stan Mayberry Club. Community food and any ritual items can be placed in the Great Hall. Burroughs indicated a big 12-man tent next to the cook area with fierce heathen banners fluttering from poles erected before it. As for ritual items, Anton had been instructed to bring along candles, incense, and a bottle of mead, and had also followed Spectek's advice and brought along a good bottle of single malt. We've got a lovely ritual planned for you tonight, Burroughs continued. What's her name? Someone yelled, and the circle hoarsely roared hoarse laughter. A man stepped forward. Anton recognized him as perhaps the wildest of the bicycle messengers. He had a great bushy beard and extremely long, tangled hair, deep, dark set eyes, and a large red nose. He was wearing a helmet which had great ram's horns jutting out from the sides, like a Viking war helm. He held a long, hollow horn in his hand, which he was continually refilling with cans of Guinness pub draft. I hear the Scotsman walked over the highlands looking for peat in the bog, he said. That's Celtic Braga, Spectek said, leaning towards Anton and speaking quietly. No one listens to what he says because no one understands what he says. Now, I know that some of you are here this year for the first time, Burroughs stated. You'll have to be initiated. Skip a bit. Anton was beginning to feel antisocial and unknown. He went to his own tent and sat down cross-legged in the doorway. He poured scotch into his brass pack cup and gazed at his reflection in the amber liquid in the failing light. The drink was weighing heavy on his brow. He felt melancholy and weird. When he became aware that someone was standing before his tent, looking up, he saw that it was Rolf. I brought you over something you might need tonight, Rolf said, and he held his hand out towards Anton. There was a small package resting there in the palm of his hand. Anton squinted at it in the gloom and recognized it to be a foil-wrapped condom. Rolf, he ejaculated, you are one fuck of a funny guy. Ha ha ha. Ralph nearly doubled over with laughter. I pull that condom joke on all the guys. Actually, what I really came over here for was to see if you needed a bit of the rapid aging process tonight. Anton brightened. Ralph, he said, I do believe that some of that would be in order. How many doses do you think I should take? One, Ralph said. This stuff is scientific. Looking out over the top of the cliff, Anton could see the churning black ocean and the heavy clouds rushing in from the west on the night sky. He heard the pounding crash of the waves against the sand and felt the wind flowing past his ears. Several 100 feet below him was the beach, and on it was a great fire pit. The flames had died down, and the pit was covered with a floor of glowing red coals. At the north end of the pit, many candles burned. A large group of men were gathered in a semicircle about the pit, facing the candles. Smoke rose from the group. They were smoking cigarettes and pipes and burning sticks of incense. Anton reached into his coat pocket and realized that he had placed some of his own ritual supplies therein. He removed a stick of incense and the stub of a candle. He struck a match, cupping it against the strong wind, and lit the incense and the candle. The flame flickered but did not go out. The thin line of pungent incense scent invigorated him. Again, he focused his attention on the beach scene. Sounds were rising from the men grouped about the fire, vague, quiet chanting, accompanied by beating drums and the hint of subliminal flutes. He heard other noises, and for the first time, he became aware of a second group of men on the beach. They were to the south, gathered together in a tight circle, like a football huddle, arms about each other's shoulders, the neophytes awaiting initiation. Suddenly, there was a thunderous bang as a firecracker exploded. The little huddle broke and the men began moving in a staggered line up the beach towards the fire pit. They clutched fluttering candles and smoky incense sticks in their hands. The men around the bed of glowing coals separated into two groups on either side, with the candle altar behind them, and watched the newcomers approach. The indistinct chanting continued, swirling up into the sky. There were further explosions, and then a flare burst in the air, illuminating the beach with phosphorescent light. More fireworks and flares as the men struggled on, twisting shadows on the beach. They looked to Anton like lost soldiers. Hey, I lost my page there. They looked to Anton like lost soldiers fighting their way across a surreal battlefield. The chanting and the wind and the ocean's roar were one. The exploded rockets were punctuated units of time and space. The ocean water was black as ink and reflected like obsidian. Now the initiates had reached the fire pit. They seemed to dance or glide across the coals. Each added his candles and incense to the altar and melted into the larger group. Anton felt another shift. Thank you for listening to me.